Good day, ladies and gents. Welcome to day one of our EOC review. And let's just get started. Okay, so right here we have DE bisects ABC. Now, what does the word bisect mean? Bisect means cut. So it's going to cut it in half. So the line cuts the angle. So this angle, ABC. So if we go ABC, that would be this angle right here. So all of this angle right here. So all of this angle right here got cut in half. So if it got cut in half, that means that this angle and this angle are equal to each other. So that's great. Okay, find the value of x if ABC, so that's ABC. So all of this again is 7x plus 29. And they said that D angle DBC, so DBC, so this angle right here, DBC, so all of this right here is 99. So let's put 99 right here. So now we have to find as much as we possibly can right now. So I don't know what this angle is, but I know this angle right here is 99. If I make a straight line right here, we know that all of this would make 180 degrees. So if I make a straight line, and this angle right here is 99, and all of this makes 180, then that means that this angle right here, if we use our calculator, and we take 180, subtract that 99, and we'd be left with 81. So that angle right there is 81 degrees. This is 81 degrees right here. So this right here would be 81. All right, fabulous. Okay, so now we know that this angle and this angle were equal. So if this is 81, then this would also have to be 81. So we know this is 81 and this 81. We could go an extra step and find this other one because all of these add up to 360. We could find this missing angle, but that doesn't matter because we really just want to find x. That's the whole point. So we really want to find this. So to find this right here, we know that these two angles add up to equal this angle right here. If we take 81 plus that 81, we would find out that this entire angle right here is 162. So if all of this is 162, so this angle right here is 7x plus 29, and it's also 162, that means that they're going to be equal to each other. They are the same angle, so that means that they are equal to each other. And now all we have to do is solve. So subtract 29 from both sides. All right, so we have 162. We subtract that 29 from both sides. We get 7x is equal to 133. We're going to divide both sides by 7, and we pop out with x equals 19. Once we get x, you always want to plug it back in for two reasons. One, to check yourself, but also to answer any other extra questions they might ask. So we put this back in the calculator right here. We take this and we plug it back into here. 7 times 19 plus that 29. Do we get 162? Yes, we do. That checks out. Okay, we should be able to answer any question they want now. And hey, yeah, they only wanted x, so the answer was 19. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, number 2. All right, so I'm going to zoom in nice and large here. Okay, so on this one, this little symbol right here, what does that symbol mean? That means parallel. So that means parallel. So what we're going to do is, they said KR. So I'm going to make this. So KR is right here, and we also know is parallel to LS. Awesome. So we have these two lines. That was actually purple, but that might have actually, so that was purple, but it might look blue to you guys, but I'm going to call it purple because that's what it's supposed to be. Anyway, so we have this right here. Now, there are a bunch of different ways how to do this. Now, one of the safest things you could do before you even start is when you have parallel lines, the best thing you can do is turn it until it is horizontal to you. That way, everything would be safe. So if you ever do a Z, this is the way it is. So if you're ever going to do the Z thing. But if you leave it this other way, that's totally okay as well, whichever one floats your boat. All right, so anyway, So if you're just going to leave it like that, that doesn't hurt anything. Now, a couple things that we already know. We know that this right here is 90 degrees, so let's put 90 right there. We also know that all of this is also 90 degrees. So if all this was 90 degrees right here, if this was 90 right there, if this is 63, what's left over? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There we go. All right, that's what I need to do. Okay, so if we know that this is 63 and all this makes 90 degrees, so 90 minus that 63, this angle right here would be 27. All right, awesome. Okay, next. Now we also know that the angles of a triangle, every time we have a triangle right here, that's going to make 180 degrees. So if that's 180 degrees right there, so then I know that 180, if I subtract the 88 and I subtract the 27, I'd be left with 65. So this angle right up here is 65. So we found all three of those angles. Awesome. Okay, next part. We know this angle right here is 88. So if this is 88, now together they make a straight line. And what's awesome about straight lines is that when you have a straight line, if this was 88, together they make 180 degrees. So 180 minus that 88, oops, let's try again. 180 minus 88, we would get 92. So this angle right here would have to be 92 to complete the 180 degrees. Let's see, what else can we do? Now there's a couple other things we can do right now. One thing that's the easiest thing that we could do right here is, you see all this makes 180 degrees because there's a triangle. All right, so if we have 180, if we subtract the 92 and we subtract the 63, if I actually type the right thing in the calculator, that would be very helpful. There we go. We would get 25. So this angle right here is 25. So we're just breezing around. This is great. Okay, now here is what I was talking about a minute ago about the parallel lines. Okay, so there's a bunch of different things we can do right now. One thing we can do is, in order to find B or A, we need to use these parallel lines here. So we have this transversal jumping from this purple line to this purple line. Now, if you're going to be using the parallel lines, you're going to have to turn this until the parallel lines are horizontal to you, and that's the safest bet. So always make sure they're parallel to you, that they're horizontal. That way you can jump from one to the other. Now, a couple different things we can do. One thing I can do is, I know that purple to red on the bottom is 88. So purple to red on the bottom, see there's this line in the middle? So purple to red, all of this is 88. So if all of that's 88, zoom out just a little, there we go. So if all of this is 88, if I take 88 and I subtract that 25, I would get 63. Now there's something else I could have done instead. Another thing is, I could do the Z. If I do Z, alternate interior angles, once again, I know that B, this corner right here, is also 63. So that's another way we could have done it. And a third way we could have done this is, the top from purple to red is 92. So the top from purple to red is 92. So if this is 92, I know that all of this makes 180 degrees because it makes a straight line together. It makes a rainbow of a straight line. So 180, subtract the 92 and subtract the 25, and guess what? I get 63 again. So those are three different ways I could have found B. So this is 63. Okay, and so that's me jumping from purple to purple. Now that I have that out of the way, I can find E. All together, that makes 180 degrees. So if that makes 180, I know that 180, if I subtract the 90 and I subtract the 63, this angle right here is 27. And up here as well, this makes 180 degrees. So right here, 180, if you subtract the 45 and you subtract the 92, we'd be left with 43. Fabulous. All right, so we have all these wonderful angles. Now we just have to put it into our answer. All right, so okay, so we have angle A, which was 92, angle B, which is 63, C, which is 25, D, which is down here, that's 43, E, which is 27, F, 92, G, which is 65, and finally H, which is 27. Right, next one, number 3. All right, so number three, they said, suppose that we have that angle ABC, so that's the whole shebang right here. So all of this is 90 degrees, or you guys could have put the 90-degree symbol right here, which is basically a box. So we know that all of this is 90 degrees. They want to know the expression. Now, expression versus equation. Expression versus equation. Equation has an equal sign. Expression, no equal sign, which we'll talk about that later too. And they want to know how to solve for angle 1. Now, when you look at this problem, a bunch of people are going, I have no idea how to do this, which is totally fine. So we are going to make something up. Make something up. One day I'll learn how to spell something up. All right, so we're gonna make something up. So at this moment, I have no idea how to do this, but in order to find angle 1, if I had an angle up here, I'd be like, I know what to do. So let's say, for example, that this is 30, just in case. If this was 30, what would have been angle 1? A lot of people have been like, it's 60, and you're correct. So how did you get 60? How did we get 60? So we're making this up. It's not real. If this was 30, this would have to be 60 to make 90. How did you get that? You did 90 minus 30, and you popped out with 60. Now, this is made up. Now, what is real, though? 90 is still real. Minus. What is 30? 30 is not real. What was really there, though? This y is equal to, and what was 60? 60 is really that angle 1. And that is actually your equation. That's perfect. So really, we have angle 1, notice I'm not writing this in the box, is equal to 90 minus y. All right, so we got this. So we just made something up. And remember, this was not real, so it's not real. We just made something up, and then we applied our beautiful stuff. We applied our ugly stuff to what we made up. So this right here is an equation. So that's the equation. And why is it an equation? Because it has this equal sign. So we want just the expression. The expression is not the equal sign. So basically, if we take all this off, it would just be 90 minus y. And that's the expression. So if we took this off, we would have been okay. So if we take this off, now it's not an equation, an expression, that's the answer. All right, so we made something up. We found out how we would find angle 1, and then we applied our ugly stuff to what we were doing. All right, number 4. Breezing on through this. Okay, so number 4. So I'm going to zoom a little more. We are actually finding angle, so we're finding not the angles, but x and y. All right, so let's try stuff. I have no idea how to do this. Well, actually I do, but we're just going to pretend that I don't. All right, so let's see. X. There's only that 12x plus 3 right now. Let's see. Do I know what that angle is? Well, I know this is 59, and I don't know what that angle. I know that all together these make 180. That doesn't help. Now we have 2 letters. That doesn't help. How about this way? No, I still don't know what this angle is. I know that and that are equal, so that doesn't help. Let's see. I don't think I can find x right now, so let's skip x. Let's try to find y. All right, so we have the y here and the y here. I have no idea what that angle is. I don't know what that is. It looks kind of like 90, but there's no proof of that. I know these two are equal because they're vertical. I don't know. Let's see. This right here, that's a 7y. That's a 3y. Oh, look. All together, this makes 180 degrees. But I'm missing this angle. Can anyone tell me what this angle is? Oh, it'd be 59. Okay, so I'm just making up stuff at this point, just trying to label as much as possible and just seeing what happens. Okay, now all of this makes 180 degrees because together they make a straight line. Okay, so now we can do this equation. So we know that all 3 of these add up to 180. So let's just try that. So we have 7y minus 4, parentheses, plus 59, plus parentheses 3y minus 5 is equal to 180 degrees. All right, so we just make that equation, and now we're just going to solve. Okay, so let me get my calculator, just in case you're trying to see what's going on in my head. All right, here we go. So we're doing, okay, 7. So we have that 7y, nothing, plus this 3y. When they're on the same side, do the same thing it already says. So that's 10y. We have this negative 4 plus that 59 plus that negative 5. And notice I'm not cleaning this up. I'm just leaving it as plus the negative 5. And we get 50 is equal to 180. All right, we're trying to get y by itself. So we're going to take the 180, we're going to subtract that 50, and we get 10y is equal to 130. And now we're going to divide by 10, and we pop out with y equals 13. Excellent. So we get this. So y is 13. We're not done. Once you find y, you always plug it back into the picture for 2 reasons. 1, to check yourself, but also to prepare no matter what they ask you. All right, so we're going to plug this back into the picture. All right, so we plug it in here. 7 times 13 minus 4, we pop out with 87. And over here, we have 3 times 13 minus 5, and we get 34. Now let's double check. All of this is supposed to add up to 180, so let's check. So 87 plus that 59 plus that 34, do we pop out with 180? Yes. Okay, that's telling us we're doing stuff right. All right, now let's see. All right, so we got x so far. Nope, we don't. We don't have it. We don't have x. We have y. We have y is 13. Let's see. I still don't have x. What can we do? Well, we just found this stuff. Maybe that helps. Let's see. Let's zoom in. All right, so this is 34. That's 59. That's 87. There's 59. What would this angle be? Well, that and this will be the same. That'll be 34. And this angle right here, to make 180 degrees, or these are vertical, this is 87. So now we should be able to find x, because this angle right here is 12x plus 3. It is also 87. They are the same angle, so that means that they are equal. And now you just solve. So I'm going to get my calculator so you can see what's going on in my head. I'm going to take that 87, I'm going to subtract that 3, and I get 12x is equal to 84. And then I'm going to divide by 12, and I got x equals 7. All right, and once we get that, we're going to plug it back into the picture for 2 reasons: to double check yourself and to prepare yourself no matter what they ask us. So 12 times 7 plus that 3, we get 87, so that's telling us that we are doing this correctly, because we were supposed to pop out with 87. Awesome. And what is always your final step? Answer their question. They wanted x, which was 7, and they wanted y, which was 13. But you know me, I'm a tricky bugger. I would totally have asked you, like, hey, what's angle ABC and 34? You know, just be careful. Awesome. But we've answered everything they wanted. Fabulous. All right, next part, number 5. All right, let's see here. I know for a fact that this is 90 degrees. Awesome. Now, bunch of you would have gone, hey, there's this, this is 45, and this is 45. No, that is not correct. No. You cannot assume that these two are equal. There's no proof of that. There's no proof. It might be, but there's no proof that this angle and this angle are equal, so do not assume that. So now, how are we going to find this? Okay, we know that this makes 180 degrees, but that's an x and a y. That doesn't help. Let's see. Over here, we don't know what this angle and this angle is. That doesn't help. This right here, this makes 180 degrees right here to make the x to the x. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. One way is to go, hey, I know this is 90 degrees. So if this is 90, this would also have to be 90. Now, technically, that should have been straight up, but no big deal. So if this is 80, this would be 100, right? Okay, but in this case, this is 90. This would also be 90. So altogether, they make 180 degrees. So one way we could do this is to go, hey, 11x minus 6 plus that 90 plus that 15x minus 8 is equal to 180. That is one way to do this. A second way we could have done this is you could have seen that these two right here are vertical, and this angle right here would be that 11x minus 6. So these two angles, where this is 11x minus 6, these two angles would add up to 90, which is the same thing, because if I subtract 90, it would be 90 again. Those are two different ways, but this is the way that most people are probably going to see. So let's go ahead and solve it. This is just one way of possibly doing this, just one. All right, so we got 11, so that 11x plus nothing plus 15. We got 26x. We have this negative 6 plus 90, and then plus that negative 8. We got 76 is equal to 180. Double checking. Okay, so we get that, and then we're going to just double checking some stuff here. We got, okay, anyway, so we're going to do 180, subtract that 76, and we get 104. So we got 26x equals 104. And then we're going to divide by 26, and we get x equals 4. Perfect. Once we get x, always plug it back in the picture to double check yourself and prepare yourself no matter what they ask. So we're going to put that back in the picture. Zoom out a little bit. All right, so we have 15 times 4 minus that 8. This angle right here is 52. 11 times 4 minus 6, that is 38. Let's see. Now, what would this angle right here be if I make a straight line? This is 90, this is 52. What's left over? So we got 180, subtract that 52, subtract that 90, and we pop out with 38. Or you could have seen that they're vertical right there. And then down here, that makes a straight line as well. So 180 minus that 38, we pop out with 142. All right, so we have this. Now we can find y. So plugging this x back in helped us find these angles, and now it's going to help us find our y. This angle right here is 13y minus 14. It is also 142. So now all you have to do is solve. So you can see what's going on in my head. Boop. All right, we have 142. We're going to add 14 to both sides. We get 13y equals 156. Divide by 13, and we get y equals 12. And once you get y, plug it back into the picture just to double check yourself. So that's supposed to be 13 times 12. Subtract that 14, and we get 142. So that checks out. We plug that back in, and we're double checking it worked. And it does. All right, your last step is always to answer their question. In this case, they just wanted x, which is 4, and they wanted y, which is 12. Awesome. And number 6. All right, so number 6, we want to find x and y. Let's see, x. Ooh, these two angles right here. They make a straight line. They make a rainbow of a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So we know that 11x minus 53 plus that 5x minus 7 is equal to 180. Whoops, only works if you can see it. So we're going to add those together and set them equal to 180. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to move this here and zoom out a little bit. Boom. Okay, so we have 11 plus that 5. We get 16x, negative 53 plus that negative 7, we get minus 60 is equal to 180. We're going to add that 60 to both sides. We get 16x is equal to 240. Divide by 16, and x equals 15. Once you get x, what are you supposed to always do? We're supposed to plug it back into the original picture. So plug it back into the picture, and we would have 11. So I'm putting it into here. So 11 times that 15 minus 53, and we pop out with 112. Okay, and then over here. Now don't just go, oh, 180 minus 112 is this number. No, always plug it back in. So let's plug it back in. We got 5 times 15 minus 7, and we get 68. Now double check. Those were supposed to add up to 180. 112 plus 68. Do they add up to 180? Yes, everything's checking out so far. So that works. Now that we have that, this angle up here would be 68, and this angle over here would be 112. Now we can find y. This angle is 8y minus 64. This angle is also 112. They are the same angle, so they are equal to each other. All right, let's solve. 112, we're going to add 64. We get 8y is equal to 176. Divide by 8, we get y equals 22. And we want to plug that back into the picture. Let's plug that back into the picture to double check. So 8 times the 22 minus 64. Does that equal 112? Yes, it does. So that's telling us that we are doing this correctly. All right, your final step is always to answer their question. In this case, they wanted x, which was 15, and they wanted y, which was 22. All right, let's go to the next page. You guys are doing awesome. Just keep it up. Just keep breathing, and we will get to this soon. All right, next part. All right, so we are on day 1, part 2. This is midpoint and distance. Midpoint and distance. Okay, in this case, they want the midpoint, and if you have to, you got to give me the fraction if that is necessary. So no decimal points. All right, so I'm going to show you 2 different ways how to do this. All right, so on this one, so if we have a graph, one way how to do this is actually make a right triangle, and I shade it in so I know it's not real. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 hops. So that's 4 hops, and then this way, I always start at the dot and go towards the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 hops. Now, what is half of 4 and 6? Half of 4 is 2 hops, so go 1, 2, and half of 6 is 3 hops. 1, 2, 3. And where did we land? We landed at 0, 1. So 0, 1. Or was it 1, 0? Well, this is on the y-axis. This is xy. So it's on the y-axis, so the number should be with the y, and it is. So that's telling me I'm correct. That's one way how to do this. A second way. So another way that we could have done this, another way that we could do this is this. Take the 2 coordinates. We got -2, 4, and we have 2, -2. Stack them one on top of the other. So we're going to add these together. -2 plus 2 divided by 2. So we're going to add them together, divide by 2. So 4 plus the -2 over 2. Notice that I do not clean this up. It's just plus the -2. Add the top. We get 0 over 2, which is 0. And over here, we have 4 plus -2. That is 2 over 2, which is 1. Awesome. Now, one way that I see a lot of people do is they try to do this in their head. They got 2 divided by 2 and they got 1, but they accidentally divide by 2 again, and they say that, oh, the answer is 1.5. That is incorrect. So be careful with that. Do not skip steps, because a lot of people accidentally divide by 2 too many times. So just be careful. Awesome. All right, so that was one way, is graphically, and the second way is mathematically. All right. All right, next one, number 2. So number 2, we're going to do the same thing that we just did. So one way is graphically. So let's see what happens here. So I make a right triangle. And it really doesn't matter if you do the top or the bottom. You still get the same answer. All right, so if I do this way, okay, horizontally, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And vertically, I get 1, 2, 3. All right, what's half of 9 is 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. And half of 3 is 1.5. 1 and a half. So right there. All right, where's that located? That is 1 and a half. So that's 1.5. And I went up 1, 2 and a half. So 2.5. But we need a fraction. This is not acceptable. So this right here, that is really 3 over 2, and that's really 5 over 2. Now, if you didn't know how I got from here to here, that's fine. Then maybe for you, a safer way would be to do mathematically. So another way we can do this, so another way, we have -3, +4, and we have +6, +1. So we stack them one on top of the other. We're going to add them together. So -3 plus 6 all over 2, and 4 plus 1 all over 2. We get that is 3 over 2, and that is 5 over 2. Hey, look, that is what our answer was. We can just stop right there. So that's 3 over 2 and 5 over 2. So both ways are fine. Do whatever floats your boat. All right, next one. Number 3. All right, so on number 3 here. Okay, so this one is actually special. We want to find distance. We want to round to nearest tenth. But here's the problem. We have that all of this, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There are multiple different ways how to do this. So one way is just to count the hops, and then when you're done, multiply by 2 at the end, because every hop is really 2 miles. But another way is just to add the extra little notches here. So boom, 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 boom. So you see how I'm just adding these extra notches? So this is just one way how to do this. If you find a different way how to do this, go for it. So I'm just adding these extra notches to all this. So I'm just doing that right now. Adding all these extra little notches here, just to be safe. And notice how I'm also doing it on the grid lines. All right, so here we go. So we need to know where all these places are. All right, so here where they're asking for, I'm just going to do the work all over here. All right, so number 3. All right, so on number 3, they're asking for Colton and Riverton. All right, Colton. Colton is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's -4, comma. And then I'm going to go up. And notice how I always go back here. I don't want to go 1, 2. I don't want to do that. I want to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a safer bet. So I just go back home and go up. All right, Riverton is right here. So Riverton, that is 12, 13, 14. And then I have to go up. So that's 1, 2. So at this moment, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract these. Subtract. So we're going to subtract these. So in my calculator, just so you can see what's going on in my head, we're going to -4 minus 14, and we pop out with -18, and then 6 minus 2, and we get 4. So basically, what you just did is this. Colton was right here. Riverton's right here. You just found out that that horizontally, this is 18 hops. And you said vertically, it is 4 hops. That's basically what you found. Now we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem to find this other part. So in my calculator, 18 squared plus 4 squared, and you pop out with 340, which is the same thing as parentheses, -18 squared plus parentheses 4 squared. See, still got the same number, right? Okay, is equal to x squared. We're going to square root both sides. And we got, so square root of 340, and we pop out with this. 18.439 and a bunch of other stuff is equal to x. And they said round to nearest tenth, so the answer is 18.4. And that's your final answer. Okay, next one, number 4. They want Saddlebrook to Riverton. All right, so Saddlebrook, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then up to here. So that's, we get all the way up to here, that's 10, 11, 12. All right, Riverton is 12, 13, 14. And then it goes up 1, 2. And we're just going to rinse and repeat what we just got. All right, so let's subtract those. So subtract. All right, if we subtract those, 8 minus 14, you pop out with -6. And then 12 minus 2, you get 10. So basically what you just found is for Saddlebrook and Riverton, you said horizontally we are 6 hops and vertically we are 10 hops. And we're just doing Pythagorean theorem. Right, is equal to x squared. All right, so we put this in our calculator. So we put that in the calculator, we get 6 squared plus 10 squared, and we pop out with 136 is equal to x squared. You square both sides, so square root of 136, and you pop out with 11.6619 and a bunch of other stuff is equal to x. Round to nearest tenth, that is 11.7. And that's your final answer. All right. Okay, keep going. Okay, so on this one, number 5. All right, so number 5, we have, they wanted Saddlebrook and Colton. All right, so Saddlebrook, that is 8, and that's over 8. And then Saddlebrook, we go 10, 11, 12. All right, Colton is right here. That's -4. And then we go up, so that's 1, so up to 6. And it actually is at 6, so it's perfect. All right, we are going to subtract these. All right, let's see what the picture was. Say Colton and Saddlebrook. So that's this right here. So if I make this right triangle, just get an idea of what's going on here. All right, so we're going to subtract those. Get my calculator so you can see what's going on in my head. All right, so we have 8 minus a -4. We pop out with 12. And then 12 minus 6, we get 6. So you just found out that this is 12 hops and this is 6 hops. All right, and now I'll put that in the calculator. We have 12 squared plus 6 squared. You got 180. So we have 180 is equal to x squared. You square both sides, the square root of 180, and you pop out with this number right here. So we got 13.416 and a bunch of other stuff. And they said to round to nearest tenth, and that is 13.4 is equal to x. And that's your final answer. Right, number 6. Okay, so on number 6, we have that we wanted Blakeville and we wanted Newton. All right, so for Blakeville, so we look at our picture here. So Blakeville is right down here. So that is a +4, 5, 6. So that's +6 and then -4. So, and then Newton is right here. That is over 4, so 4. And now here's the part that a lot of people get wrong. Ready? 4. And we're going up to here. So this is, I'm going to zoom in here. For Newton, we're trying to get to Newton. Okay, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 right there. So that was 4, 5. That's 4, 5. All right. So Blakeville to Newton. So we have this. We are going to subtract those. We have, show you my calculator, 6 minus 4, we get 2. And then squared plus -4 minus 5, we get 9. It's -9, which is totally fine, equals x squared. All right, so we have 2 squared plus 9 squared, we get 85. It's equal to x squared. We're going to square both sides, the square root of 85, and we pop out with 9.2195 and a bunch of other stuff is equal to x. Round to nearest tenth, we get 9.2 is equal to x. Fabulous. All right, I'll zoom out and I'll let you guys copy that down if you need to. All right, last problem. Okay, number 7. So on number 7, they said, hey, this is a diameter, and we want the center of the circle, and we want the radius. All right, so when in doubt, draw it out. So I'm going to draw this out. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we have negative 6, negative 2, and we have positive 6, negative 2. All right, so we have this circle here. All right, so this is basically my circle. I just am a crappy drawer, so please bear with me on that one. All right, so something like that, right? So something along those lines. Okay, we know for a fact that this right here is definitely the diameter. All right, so this is the diameter, right? So where is the center? The center would be right here. It would be in the middle. It'd be the midpoint of these 2 points. So negative 6, negative 2, and 6, negative 2. Now we could just look at this and know that that sucker right there is 0, negative 2. I could just look at that. It's on the y-axis, so the numbers with the y. Or you could just add these together, divide by 2, and you get, so negative 6 plus 6 all over 2. That's 0 over 2, which is 0. Negative 2 plus negative 2 over 2. That's negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. And see, you got the same answer both ways. The other thing that they wanted to know is the radius. So you can just count those hops right there. We can find the distance from the center to the edge, or you can just count it, and that sucker is 6. So the radius is 6. And that's it. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Have a great and wonderful day.